All right, so Danny, you can start us off, lead us to Valhalla, shiny and chrome.
We will ride eternal through the gates of Valhalla, shiny and
That's
chrome.
that's gonna be the new
My
intro.
body is chrome, my blood is gasoline.
Witness me!
He says that and then he goes, the podcast for the working class geek who's too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore. I'm Adrian.
It's like he's here. No, wait. Did you say hardcore casuals?
Exactly.
Casuals.
the hardcore casual podcast.
All right, let me see if I can do this without reading anything. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, where we're two.
Great start. Hello everyone. We're the hi.
You can mumble your way through the entire podcast, except for the intro and the outro.
Hello, everyone. It's like, hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
Who's too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore. That's what
Okay.
he says, I think. I haven't listened to it, but I think that's what he says.
That sounds accurate. Is that I can say it verbatim when he's saying it, but
Just because he has to say it like 5 times before we get a take that we can use.
exactly. By the time we have it done, I have it memorized until we start again.
But now I forgot my outro. I
back
remember
into
his
the
intro,
outro.
but I forgot my outro.
Well, it starts with a laugh, a fake laugh.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, the podcast for the working class geek that's too hardcore to be casual, to be hardcore, but too hardcore to be casual. Damn it! I said it all wrong.
You can do it. That's all right. Say it all wrong, and then we'll just roll with it. So yeah, what we were talking about the other day. Okay, is he ready?
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, the podcast for the working class.
Too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore. I'm Ivy.
Not Adrian. I'm David.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
The podcast for the working class geek.
Who's too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore.
I'm Danny.
I'm Ivy.
I'm David. I was totally talking over you when you did it right now, but you're
Yeah,
gonna take
I know.
out.
You just kept going though.
Yeah, he can split the audio anyways.
I kept going because the audio is split. Like you
Yeah.
guys didn't come out in my whatever line of dialogue.
Yeah, because what I was saying was that she did it fine just a second ago too. So maybe-
Yeah, we'll just have her. We'll just use her take. There, hers is. She has a prettier voice anyway. So
No, I don't.
Okay, we customarily, if that's even a freaking word.
It is a word.
I don't know. It
Customarily.
sounds
Fun-
weird.
you know that's funnily.
It's funnily.
No.
It's funnily ironic.
It's funnily irregardless. Ironic.
No.
We usually
stop.
start by singing the intro. So
No, we don't.
Ivy?
If it happens, it happens.
You can't
Oh, yeah,
force
yeah.
genius.
There you
sing
go.
us the intro.
Sing us the intro. Go, please.
I've already talked through the intro. That's not my job anymore. David?
All right, so Danny. No, not Danny.
Test.
Are you testing? You're still
Adrian's
testing?
I'm just making sure that thing is still like. I mean, not that it makes a difference, but I'm just making
it's
sure.
all popping.
It's making me nervous. Yeah.
I wonder. I hope mine's working.
We get it back like none of yours are working. Mine works.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the audio levels going up and down on my recording thing, so.
Yeah, me too. I'm just hoping it's not the webcam, but whatever. So it's been a while since we last had a podcast. It was right after the hurricane and everything that's been going on. Thankfully, the worst parts have passed. We did endure another horrible national tragedy in Las Vegas with the shooting that happened with crazy people, and hearts go out to all the victims over there. But we're in the process of trying to recover and everything, so we want to take things back to a much lighter note and go back to what we do best, which is being casual and hardcore at the same time about movies, games, and all the nonsense that we're usually talking about. So tonight, Adrian's not with us, as you might have noticed by our intro. He's got some things.
Everything has just
to
gone
take care of.
casual.
Yeah. So you might not get extended, long-winded rants, even though I'm using Adrian's time now to have a long-winded rant. But I want to turn it over to Ivy, who's back finally after a while, not because of anything that she's done, It's just we're all busy and it's been struggled to schedule. So what's up with you? Like, what's new?
First of all, the vacuum must be filled, David. I'm glad you stepped into that role.
You're welcome.
But I have found time to at least watch a couple of movies and play a few games since the break. And I've seen It, obviously, which was amazing. I know you guys talked about it in the last podcast. I have a couple of differing opinions, but, you know, we can get into that a little later.
Okay.
I also saw Happy Death Day, which is... I'm gonna say right now, it was a guilty pleasure movie because I actually enjoyed it.
Your Rotten Tomatoes would be like a 15%.
And in terms of games, I've been playing Cuphead, which is both the most satisfying and most frustrating game I think I've ever played.
It
takes
so
me
good.
back to the old Nintendo games.
Yeah. I want to play that so bad. It looks gorgeous.
Oh my god, the animation is like you're basically in a like 40s cartoon. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's like they don't want to say it, but that's straight up Disney. It's like evil Disney. I love it. I want to play it so bad. It's just
even the character creations look like, you know, the little gloves and the pants.
everything. I love it. It's just so expensive right now. It's like $20 or something. So expensive
It's not even full
compared
price.
to $60 games.
Jeez.
But still, I always feel guilty.
Now segue
spending.
into how they can donate to the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
Yeah.
Visit our Patreon. Jeez.
Visit our website and our Twitch and listen to our podcast. Maybe we get some ad revenue. So, we're just happy that you're all joining us and we could have a good time together. But yeah, so Cuphead's good. That's next on the list for me. I'll get to it soon.
Yeah, what's different about it is that pretty much it's not like a standard game where, you know, you fight a couple of minions and then you eventually work your way to a boss. Like, every fight is a boss fight.
Ooh, Megoost. I like that.
Yeah, you
And,
say that now until you're.
And there's only two levels. There's
3 controllers
easy,
in.
and then there's just hardcore, which we've just been playing with like the hardest difficulty rating, and it's
Good.
intense.
That's perfect for us because I'm hardcore about those kind of games. Everyone else is casual, so they'll be on the easy setting.
I would
I
play
like
on.
this.
I would play on hard just because. Everything
Just
I hear
because you
about
want
that
to be
game
angry.
is exactly.
Oh,
Everything-
we've raged at the TV like playing that game.
Well,
Yeah, everything I hear about that game says that it's rage-inducing.
It really is. But then when you finally like beat a boss, you're like, the rush is so intense. You're like, yeah, I beat you.
then you throw your control at the screen.
That's
did it
Danny's
finally!
MO.
You go and return it. You're done.
Oh, God. Well, I'm no stranger to raging, as we all know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still getting pissed off with Destiny. I broke
You-
my last phone over Hearthstone. So,
See, I've heard a
Hearthstone.
lot of like that Destiny 2. A lot of people are becoming very disappointed with it, and I don't have the game, so I can't speak to that.
people are full of shit. That's the problem. It's like, yeah, there's problems with it. I've said my piece on it that it's frustrated me too. But everyone's like, there's not enough content. Well, motherfucker, you just put in 100 hours into the game. How many other games do you put 100 hours into and then complain that there's no content? So it's like, stop complaining. It's just so many people are upset because it doesn't have a lot of the features of the first one. And the first one had 3 expansions behind it or whatever. And they're like, oh, but it's missing. Yeah, no shit.
Well, 3 expansions that took forever to come out.
Yeah, but there were 3 expansions in. It's not. It sucks that we started over with this new one, and they're not including all of the shit that they did in the previous 3 expansions. But they're gonna get to it, and I don't fault them on the content. There's enough content there to keep you happy. I'm just pissed off about the Crucible. That's the only thing that pisses me off.
And I'm pissed off about Iron Banner. That was a huge
Oh, yeah.
freaking letdown. A huge letdown.
Iron Banner and Loot. Loot in general is just stupid, but Iron Banner is pathetic. And they said they're gonna fix it in season 2, not even the next Iron Banner that's coming. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
because there's one more before the season ends.
I'm glad we can include Ivy in this conversation.
Yeah. Hey,
I was just thinking, like, one of
Take
the
notes.
games that I feel does the loot system right is Overwatch, because
Yeah.
the loot system is there. You can earn it if you decide to play enough and you have the money and you buy the skin that you really want. Or, if you want to spend the money, then you can do it that way. But whatever is in the loot boxes has no bearing on the actual gameplay. It's not like you're getting like an overpowered gun and now you can kill everyone a lot easier and they don't stand a chance because they're new to the game or something,
That's the thing with Destiny that I think people want, because in the original Destiny, there were 2 modes for competitive play, where Iron Banner was one of them, where your level was taken into account. Your good guns and your high level. So anything you did in PvE was to your benefit for PvP. And in Destiny 2, they've disabled that. So no matter what your level is, you're on equal footing with a level 1 person.
So it's all skill based now.
Or skill based in quotes.
It's not set up in brackets and level brackets?
No. So if you're level 1 and someone's level 300,
How is that fair?
everyone's the same. And blue or green items, which are like the low tier things, or even gray items, they're just as good as high level items if you find like the right roll of stuff, which I say roll, but it's not like that in Destiny 2. But there are some auto rifles that are just as good as the high-end auto rifles that you get at the very beginning of the game. They're just low level.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that
in
just doesn't
PvP
make a lot of sense.
No, and it's like Activision is the parent company of Bungie. Activision is also the co-company with fucking Blizzard. It's like, come on. The people that get loot right in World of Warcraft, in Diablo, and now in Overwatch, you're in the same fucking company with these people. Go talk to them. It's like just knock on the door. Hey guys, you know that thing you do at
No,
Warcraft?
they built a
How
wall.
did you do
Sorry,
that?
can't.
No.
They built a wall.
Bungie is hanging from a bungee cord off of another fucking building. And they're like, no, we're not going to talk with Blizzard because they're too good for us. Oh, God, it's frustrating because Diablo mostly gets it right except for the auction house that they did, which was stupid. But, God, Bungie could have skipped so many mistakes with this game. And
The good thing is, though, they're going to fix the loot system for Iron Banner on the next Iron Banner, I think, or was it Season 2 Iron Banner? And one of them, they're going to fix the loot system so you can just buy the stuff like you used to in Part 1. But I remember they had the exact same issue where the loot drops were crap in Part 1, and then they had to go in there and revamp everything and fix it so that you get good drops instead of just like a bunch of blues, a random legendary, and all that crap. I mean, loot system is crap. At least right now.
It's like what they did was they looked at the end of World of Warcraft, I feel like, because I don't know how long either you stuck around for World of Warcraft for, but
I think Wrath of the Lich King was the last expansion I played.
I don't even know if Wrath of the Lich King was doing it already. It might have been towards the end of Burning Crusade when they started doing things token-based, where you do raids and then you start getting tokens and then you can take that to an NPC and trade it in for gear. I don't remember when they started incorporating that in Warcraft, but that's how Destiny is now, where it's like you do the raid and a chest opens up and then you get tokens and then you take your tokens to an NPC who doesn't give you the chance to buy stuff from them. It's an RNG roll. So when you turn in,
that's fucked up.
Yeah, you turn in enough tokens and then it reps you up with that vendor and then that vendor gives you an item of his choice. And you can be doing this forever and not get, even though it's the same as if you're running the same boss forever and he doesn't drop the loot that you want. Mm-hmm. But it just takes the fun out of it when you can't say, oh shit, I have 50 tokens. It's going to cost me 60 to buy the boots that I want. And that's how it was in Warcraft. But
I feel like that
know,
kind of takes away the power of the gamers themselves because, you get into guilds or whatever happens to be what they're called in whatever game. And then there's like a hierarchy. It's like, okay, you've been with us on this many raids, whatever, it's your turn to get this loot.
That's a 50 DKP minus.
No, but seriously, like, if you're really into those sort of games, you join these kinds of guilds, and if all you get are tokens, then there is no hierarchy, there is no reward system that you can put in place as a player to sort of, like, make things a little fair and eventually get what you need. Yeah. If it's just going to be completely random, you just get tokens and you go to a guy, and then you may or may not get it. Yeah,
that's the part that I really didn't like, and I'm not sure if the full man raids in Warcraft were instituting that token system, if it was just like how they made the 10-man raid and the 25-man raid. I don't know if it's that one that they were doing it for, but I do remember that in Warcraft they started doing a token based where you can just turn in a certain amount. But yeah, it's like even though it sucks to run a raid for a long time and then what drops is nothing that you need. there was something satisfying about when it finally does drop. You're like, oh shit, there it is, and then wait, somebody else wants it, and then now, like you said,
Bitch better hit greed and not need. That's mine.
If you roll need, I'm gonna go over there and I'll punch you.
I'll try to.
Or you better have the DKP for it. But yeah, it's like I remember in Molten Core in Warcraft, just trying to get going so hardcore now. But like the Azure Song Mage Blade, which is what like that was like the best weapon for a fucking warlock. And I was like, come on, this has to drop, this has to drop, this has to drop. And when it finally dropped, I was like, holy shit, it fucking dropped. And that was like really fun to finally see the drop that you wanted to happen. And then when you play Destiny now, and it's like, turn in token, turn in token, turn in token. Engram. What's my Engram give me? Oh, Cartesian coordinates. Again, thanks.
Goose egg.
I mean, it's a glorified fetch quest, is what you're telling me.
Again, basically, yeah.
Fetch me 50 tokens.
I
pretty
reached
much.
I reached max power level just nightfalling and doing the clan XP stuff. That gives me the stuff in 300. Like all 3 characters are now 305 because of that. Not because of the raid.
I'm at 305 on my Titan, and I was playing with Dom the other day just for shits and giggles on my Warlock, and he was like 17, and then I got him to 20 in about an hour. Yeah, and then after that, I just equipped whatever weapons I had, and he went straight to like 295.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's how I got my Titan and Hunter caught up to my Warlock so quick, is because I did that. I farmed the public events in Titan, got him to 20, then I went around, finished the story mission. I finished the story missions, and when everything was said and done, I went in, I turned in all the quests, got some gear, and then transferred over some stuff, and bam. I was in the 280s. I had caught up that fast.
And it's like, the game has plenty of content there to have fun with it if you're especially just a one-character player and you're not going to be so hardcore about it that you want to be playing 24/7. But I feel like the lack of content in the first game and the difficulty to get past certain stages, like everyone was stuck at level 28 or 29 for a long time in the first game. It's those moments that I
Forever
think...
29.
Yeah, I feel like those moments is what...
Forever 21.
Yeah. It's what made people feel like the game was longer lasting than this one, because this one is so easy to get to the max power level that people are like, oh, there's not enough content in this. And people just forget how lack of content vanilla Destiny was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solve from the Prison of Elders.
Oh,
for
jeez.
the 100 millionth time.
No. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for the Elder's return?
We've awoken the hive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the same thing over and over and over again.
The loot cave.
I don't want Prison of Elders again. Psylocke, the Defiler.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. I like Prison of Elders, just not.
I hate it.
Just not to farm it for all that. I mean, it actually got better when they added the high end stuff, because that was kind of dumb that they had released this thing and it wasn't even like high end stuff that you were getting. It was just
Bungie is saying that was a fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hashtag fake
okay.
news.
I see. Okay. Well, hey, they have to bring back the Reef somehow. I mean, those guys didn't just get killed or anything like that.
Yeah,
they have to finish the story with the queen and her brother.
Yeah, who's supposed to be somewhere in the EDZ.
Which
in a cutscene.
Yeah, and a cutscene from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a deleted cutscene from Destiny 1.
I will be so pissed off if they give us DLC and that cutscene is in the DLC.
yes, it takes us back to the Fallen Shores or whatever the hell
it's like
called.
You're gonna give me DLC in Destiny 2. It's actually content you created for Destiny 1.
Yeah,
that would infuriate
That's the epitome of laziness right there.
Watch, it's gonna take us, because I think that took place in the Divide. It's gonna take us back to the Divide, and we're gonna have to go through that part again.
Go through the rocket yard again.
Yeah.
Ugh. No.
I like what they. I gotta say though, I like what they did in Iron Banner with the Distant Shores, with that the Venus map remake. On Nessus. Yeah. That was actually pretty cool. That was a nice.
I wouldn't mind them bringing back all the maps from Destiny 1 to be Crucible maps. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Yeah. And it's fun because nobody has a problem with Crucible and maps. It's always nice having extra stuff. It's just I don't want to see those strikes again.
Unless you have the Ministry of Silly Walks where you can just walk through walls doing the emote.
Stupid. So what's your take on this, Ivy? They decided they put in an emote from Monty Python that they realized if you do it with your back to a wall, it lets you like bug into the wall. You no clip through the wall.
Yeah.
So they have a competitive mode that happens only on weekends for PvP. And they said, we're canceling this competitive mode for 2 weeks because people have glitched PvP. It's because of the emote. Why don't you just fucking delete the emote?
I was about to say, or fix the emote so that they can't do that.
Yeah,
Instead,
right?
they cancel the competitive mode, which is what people play for 2 weeks while they figure this out.
That's
It's
just
like, what? What?
That's
poor marketing, poor public relations, poor everything. That's just a bad decision.
Yes. I'm just like, I was flabbergasted.
You were appalled. Yeah, that was
I mean,
dumb.
When stuff like that happens in any other game, they just do a bug fix. Done.
Yeah.
Like, they just fix it and they move on.
Well, that's the problem with consoles, that whenever there is a bug like that and they have to patch something, from what I've been told from developers and all the inside track, is that they have to go through recertification and submit it to Sony or submit it to Microsoft, and everyone's got to check it and make sure it gets through, and there's no loopholes with the code or anything like that. And that's what makes things a struggle, that they like to bundle in as many fixes as they can at once and then push it all together. Whereas on PC, it's like hit a button and just go live to everybody.
I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, delete the emote until you get it fixed and then reintroduce it.
Yeah, or you don't even have to delete it. You can just make it unusable. You just, like, kill it from inventories and stuff.
Just disable it so you can't equip it.
Yeah.
But I wonder now that since the PC release came out on Tuesday, I wonder if they'll go through the same issues.
Everybody gets it by default.
Because it's all under one umbrella. Well, no, I meant like the whole the giant paper trail of people you have to go through. I wonder if that still applies here since it's the same.
I don't know. I have
umbrella.
a feeling what's actually going to happen with PC is it's going to get either super delayed like it has right now with the Raid and the Prestige and all that, or it's going to be ahead and the consoles are going to be catching up, because that's kind of where Warframe is at. I'm not sure if Warframe started on PC or where it started, but
I remember PC.
I remember it being like really early on. Like, wasn't it PS3? Like towards the end of PS3 era, it was on there too. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
But I remember it. I remember it being on console a long time ago, and I was like, "Oh man, this looks like a cool free-to-play game."
Yeah.
But they have the same problem where it's like something that they want to patch goes right away on PC, but then when the consoles patches happen, they have to wait a while to get certified and go through all the steps to make it happen. Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah. Tom told me about that 5 gig update. I let it download it earlier.
Yeah, we were going to play it on whatever day that was. And then it's like, oh, how cool that they released a big update and there was no download to it because Steam auto updated it really fast. And when we click the launcher, 5 gigabytes, you mother. Go to hell. We're going to play Warhammer.
Well, is there any game that you guys are looking forward to playing? Something that hasn't come out yet or something you just haven't played yet?
Evil Within 2.
Yeah, well, that one already came out.
Dying to play that.
He's dying to play it, but he's looking for the cheapest way to buy it. So
I was about to buy it at $29.50, and I was like,
"Oh, but the $20 Cuphead."
No. Let me tell you.
Evil Within is a AAA title.
Hold on. He messaged me. I think last week or the week before. Hey, do you still have your Best Buy thing? Your Best Buy Gamers Club thing? I was like, no, man. That thing expired. And then like a few days later, like Dom, him and I were all talking, and he goes, "Oh, Dom, do you have a Best Buy Gamers Club thing?" I'm like, "Dom's in Canada."
Yeah, they have Best Buy in Canada.
That's hilarious. And she's like, "No."
Because you got 20% off with that, but still 20% off would still be more expensive than getting it for $29.50. The thing is that the $29.50 one was through PC digital download. So when I finished playing it, I wouldn't be able to trade it back in to get some money back. So I was like, I don't know, that seems kind of steep for me. Especially with Evil Within, which normally goes down to $10 after like a couple months. So I might make it.
I saw the trailer for it. It looked really good. It definitely has a lot of a Resident Evil feel to it. Did
you play the first one?
I did not, but now that I saw the trailer for the second one, I kind of want to play both.
The first one is surprisingly good. I wouldn't say it's as good as Resident Evil 4, but it's close to what you feel Resident Evil 4 is without having to do all of those accompanying the girl, like escorting her. You don't have any of that escorting bullshit in Evil Within. The problem with Evil Within is that the pacing is fucked. Like, you have to go through the first 4 or 5 chapters of the game before it becomes good. It's a slog to get through the beginning of the game, and the graphics are rough. The frame rate sucks. And then once you get through that initial section, you really hit the polished meat of the game where you're like, shit, fuck. you just
fuck.
What
But
about
I
you, Danny?
it.
Is there a game that you're looking forward to playing?
I kind of feel like there was, but honestly, I don't know. I don't remember now.
WWE
Destiny-
2018.
Dude, I haven't. The last one I played was one. I think it was 2015 or whatever that had, and it was only because it was Undertaker featured. Like it was all themed on the Undertaker or whatever the hell. Holy crap! You know what? We should go back to that.
No, we shouldn't.
But no, let me see here. A game that's coming out. Destiny came out. I want to play Shadow of War, but I have to finish Shadow of Mordor first because I haven't.
Shadow of Wardor.
Shadow
That's
of
part
Mordor.
3.
That's Shadow of Mordor.
That's part 4. Shadow of
No.
Mordor.
It takes place in between Mordor and War.
It'll be
Wardor.
Middle of Earth. Shadow of Hordor. Hold the door.
Shadow of Mordor. Oh geez. No, I guess Shadow. No. I got nothing.
You know
right
what's
now.
interesting about those games, though, and from what I've heard, it doesn't exist in any other game, is the Nemesis system, which happens in the first game, and I haven't seen any other company even remotely try to implement it, and that's really really cool.
It's strange that that's been the case.
I know, normally somebody comes up with something new, and there's like 50 other companies that are trying
Yeah.
to capitalize on it, but
Everybody
haven't seen
loved
any other
it.
game.
After the first game, everybody loved the Nemesis system, critically acclaimed. All the other people were talking, like all the developers, all the outlets, media outlets were like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Can't believe no one's done this before. And I totally expected, like you're saying, that right after that, you were going to see a bunch of clones coming out. I thought, since it copied the Batman style of combat, I kind of thought the next Batman
same
game...
creators.
Yeah, I thought the next Batman game would actually be using the Nemesis system in that. I was thinking, oh, maybe you have the Joker coming at random times.
That would be
or
cool.
The Riddler coming at random times, but they never did it. And I was like, man, that was a lost opportunity there.
That mechanic was so well done that no one knows how to replicate it without it being a
that's the
direct
case.
copy of it.
I actually do think that's the
That's
case.
never
That-
stopped
Yeah.
people from creating clones of
But
games before.
but see, that's the thing. That's that other games, other companies are trying to avoid that because this mechanic was just so unique that if they tried, I will just copy it anyways, just like everyone else does. Everyone's gonna be like, this is a copy of.
I feel like
Mordor
they
and
probably
War-
spent so much time making that, and they did a cut and paste of the combat and just made an open world, which was like easy mode for them to build. That the crux, like the main part of their development cycle, is probably just building that Nemesis system. So other companies are probably like, you know what? We can't be spending 2 years to build just a Nemesis system and not the game, because then we're going to be 5 years behind, and then it's going to be totally outdated.
That's true. They're gonna end up with another Mass Effect 4 or Andromeda
God, don't even. Why did you remind me?
because we
mean,
still
that's a
play the
shame.
multiplayer. The multiplayer is like
Effect.
the only thing that's solid. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's a shame because there's so few games where your deaths actually have a consequence, like where it's not just you just reload, or it's like okay you die now your enemies are stronger and they're out to get you, and there's blood vendettas and all that stuff, which I find to be really interesting. There's actual consequences to your death.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I was really looking forward to Shadow of War, especially after watching the developer commentary stuff when they were hyping the game with the dragon and all the kind of stuff that you could do. And then I found out about all the microtransactions and all the stuff that they did. I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm gonna play it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, I'm waiting for Divinity 2 to come out for the Xbox so that we can start playing that, because right now it's out for PC, but
Divinity.
that's not where I can't do split screen on here, so.
Divinity.
Yeah, Divinity Original Sin or something like that.
Yeah, is
Wait.
that a
Sounds familiar.
A real-time strategy, or is that a tactics game?
No, it's done in rounds of initiative.
Yeah, but it's not regular RPG. It's like Final Fantasy Tactics style.
Oh, I never played tactics, but
What?
I know I just
I'm
blew
done.
your fucking mind. Oh no, he's walking away. I've broken him.
We're one childhood friend.
That's it. The show's over. Danny, take over. Final Fantasy
hell.
Tactics is the single greatest game ever made. Ever made.
In the
This
history
is
of game.
fact. This is fact. You can Google it. It will be the Wikipedia first line. I'm going to actually rewrite Wikipedia right now. Single greatest game ever made. Let me see. Have you played... Were you
Oh
into
no, wait,
PS1
now all
games?
of a sudden you're testing me?
I have to. How into PS1 games were you?
More into PS2 than PS1, but I played a few
Okay,
PS1.
so... Yeah, but then you wouldn't know, like... How many RPGs did you play? Did you play a lot of RPGs?
It's
No.
hard for me to remember if it was PS1 or PS2, but Legend of the Dragoon,
I'm trying to
Final
remember.
Fantasy-
I'm trying to remember a PS2 game that might have been tactics oriented. But basically, the tactics games are the ones that just happen on a grid, where it's kind of like you move your piece like 4 squares, and then you select a skill from them to attack another character, and then they move, and it's in initiatives. Like,
Yeah, it's very much like that. I mean, you can't actually see a visual grid, but you do have a certain amount of movement that you can do before you
Okay,
run out
so-
of movement.
yeah, I think that I'm trying to remember if Divinity is one of those. I know it's a huge game and a lot of people like it, but I was just trying to remember if that's the one that it was. I should play it because I love tactics games. Vandal Hearts, Tactics Ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics, all of those games.
It's a lot of
I'm
fun.
a
There's a lot of
big
good
fan.
storylines in it. And, you know, you can be a bunch of different classes.
Oh, Fire Emblem. Did you ever play Fire Emblem? That's a tactics game.
No. Oh, God.
Okay, I'm trying to hang in here. I'm trying to hang in. I'm trying to.
This could possibly be his last show.
Vegeta's
say
doing weights right now.
No, no.
You see that?
You leave Vegeta out of this.
He's working out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Anyways, that's the game I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you've got such a repertoire, a backlog of having played the genre to know what's good of those.
I
Oh,
can
hell.
appreciate other aspects to it. I don't necessarily
see.
have to have played other tactics games. You elitist, you.
He just went completely hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm
Some of
hardcore
us are
about
casual
tactics.
about tactics games.
I'm casual about RPGs, but when it comes to tactics, I'm like, right in there, man. I love those tactics games. It's like chess, but better.
Man, I remember one time, like 20 years ago, I'll say, because I really don't remember. It was on, I think it was a PS1 game or a PS2. I was hanging out at your house. We were in your room. You were playing a tactics game, and I think I had
Katamari
my
Damacy.
no. Jeez, no. Oh,
Na 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 Katamari Damacy.
I'm out. No, you were playing a tactics game. I had just gotten there, so I had my laptop. I was fidgeting on my laptop. I wasn't looking at what you were playing. And your dad walks in. Your dad walks in and he goes, "What the hell are you playing? Why are there pumpkins falling from the sky?" And I looked up and there were pumpkins, giant pumpkins, just going across the screen, bouncing around, attacking
probably
whatever the hell. And
That
I
was
was
probably
like,
Pumpkin Aga, a spell.
and I started laughing because your dad's like, "What the hell are you playing?"
I can't tell you the amount of times my parents have walked in watching me play a game and they're like, I have no idea what's going on. They just
Oh,
kind of look
man.
at you funny.
Yeah, but the thing is, his dad is a gamer. He was primarily sports games, but he's no stranger to the controller and console. But he walks in and he's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
It's just pumpkins falling from the sky.
Yeah, there was a time there that games had some strange things on the screen. I remember.
Oh, I see.
It's like-
yeah, Katamari Damacy. That's
Yeah,
stupid crap.
it's kind of hard to explain that one, especially if you're there.
It's kind of hard to explain playing it.
It's kind of hard to explain when you're like a kid playing God of War in your room and your parents walk in on like the sex scene.
Oh, see, no, that's normal.
They should have checked the rating.
Kratos
Yeah, right.
is there just banging someone and you're mashing O. It's like I'm like, Are you trying to tell me something that I gotta mash O when I'm doing this next scene? Oh.
Show them the O face. Show them the O face.
Kratos' O face.
Is it? You look at the thing. You're like, do I have to make the face too?
Oh my god.
That would be on the Kinect.
Yes.
And while you're doing it, great, perfect, okay.
No, way to finish on an okay.
Game over.
Holy
They
crap.
just made a new game.
Yeah. Oh man.
Whoops. I'm kicking stuff.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how my parents let me play Mortal Kombat when it first came out in '92.
Well, yeah, that's the beginning of gaming, though, and parents didn't know what the hell that was. We got away with a lot of things back in the day.
I think it helped mostly because my mom was usually fascinated by the games that I play. Even though she never played herself, she always liked video games. There's actually a reason for that.
It's crazy, because when you think back on that what we were playing, and I don't know if you guys know about it. Eva, you're I think a little bit younger, but when I was a kid, like the craziest thing, most controversial thing that you could imagine was a movie called Faces of Death. And if you saw that movie, it was real. It was about showing death, like the moment of death.
Yeah.
From a bunch of different times in history and all kinds of footage. And that was like the most grotesque thing you could imagine. But now there are like 50 websites that I could list off the top of my head that are far more grotesque than that film.
Yeah.
And then video
Or you
games.
could just watch American Horror Story.
Some scenes in American Horror Story where people are being disemboweled.
Yeah.
And games, some of the things that Kratos does were not just having sex, you're mashing O to rip somebody's head off. And then you're watching their eyes pop out as you're doing it. And it's
Don't mention eyes popping out. I still refuse to watch The Walking Dead after that. Okay?
Oh.
serious?
That was the final straw for me. Once that, I was like, that's it. You killed off my favorite character. I am done with you.
I don't know if it's too soon to give spoilers on that.
Well, hang on.
Too soon. It's been out forever.
When did
know.
you stop watching it? What season?
Literally that episode. I refuse to watch anything after that.
Oh, the rest of that
of what
season was
season?
kind of boring. That was
Oh,
season
of last
6,
season?
7? Was that 7? I think
That
we're
was last
starting 8
season.
now.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was the beginning of last season.
The
that was the-
Saviors.
I basically table flipped and turned my back on that series.
Oh,
No,
but you
no,
can
no,
because
no,
Negan
no.
is so awesome.
Exactly. You can't deny
Sure,
Negan. He will save
he's
you.
awesome, but now that you've gotten rid of my favorite character, there's no reason for me to watch the show anymore.
It's just
Negan should be your favorite character.
Negan is my favorite character.
Negan is my favorite character.
He's
that guy
like-
is awesome.
He sits there with Carl and he's like, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
Balls on this one."
Balls on this one. Holy shit.
I love
He's
Negan
like-
so much.
He's like,
He's
why don't
too
you hold Lucille?
charismatic. Everyone
very
likes him.
charismatic.
Hold Lucille for me.
I find the most relatable and fun and like memorable villains in both movies and video games are like the super charismatic ones. Those are the
Yeah.
ones that you want to root for.
Yeah.
What was that game? Fuck it, I can't remember.
Does it require a controller?
Yes.
And you play it? And it has a story? Does
Oh
it
my
have
God.
different difficulties?
I think we're almost there. You almost have it. I figured you're close.
I knew
Oh,
it.
oh.
Are there sequels?
It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on a CD?
Has it? No. It's digital. Oh,
Damn
a
it.
CD. Damn.
A Blu-ray disc, if you will. It's on a zip drive.
A floppy disk. It's on a floppy disk.
It's on a
I
3/4
refused
inch.
to let go of the floppy disk for like a long time. I did
So did
not want
I.
to switch over to like.
So
those
did I.
floppy discs.
I like every system I had would have a floppy disk, even if I had a CD player.
You know what I loved?
like,
The
screw it.
rumors on floppy disks where you couldn't like write on it without putting the sticker. And it's like, no, don't do that. You can't put a Sharpie on the straight on it. And it's
hell?
like,
I never
yeah,
knew
you
that.
can.
I had never heard that, and if I did,
Oh
I
my
probably
god,
would have not.
definitely.
If I did hear it, I was probably like, that's the single dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. May God have mercy on your soul. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
We're all now dumber for having listened to.
We're all now dumber for having listened to you.
and you just excuse yourself.
We all grew up in a very interesting point in time where the advent of the internet, all the like the new gaming systems, that's like everything. We got to see the progression of all these things that just didn't exist before.
And I think about that. Yeah, I think about that now with my son coming soon.
Coming
In a theater near you.
Son.
Yeah, it's
Tune in next time.
it's like
The next
on
podcast
the
will
next
be the
episode
birth.
of Dragon Ball Z.
The next podcast is going to be in the opera in the birthing room, whatever.
You
in
know,
the
she's
hospital.
gonna feel like she's in the hyperbolic time chamber when that time comes.
Oh, jeez.
It's so weird to think about that stuff, like not growing up knowing the beginning of gaming, because I'm old enough now where I didn't play Donkey Kong at the arcade, but I did get to see it. And some of those first games that you see in old movies that's fantastic to look at, where they're just using their little knob at the arcade and it's just those little flashing green graphics.
Yep.
And knowing of where we came from, and then us starting on the true home console of the Nintendo, because I don't count the Atari as the true home console. I started at Nintendo because the NES is what really started story-based gaming and real interaction with the game, because the Atari stuff, you had Pitfall and you had games like that had a story and it was interactive, but it was so limited what you could do that once you got to the 8-bit era of NES, things went totally in another direction with RPGs and everything that came from that
That's like
world.
the car phone, and then that got like phased out almost immediately with cell phones.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
night and day.
But it's just crazy. Imagine, like, little kids know what Mario is only because Nintendo has remained true to being a kids brand, and they're retaining all their IPs. But like Mega Man was huge when I was a kid, and that's something that's almost been left to the wind. You see him in like Smash Brothers and Marvel vs. Capcom, but a young kid might look at that and be like, "Who the hell's that? Who's that? Who's that blue guy?"
Yep.
It's Mega Man.
You know
Or
what
how
you
about
do?
Pac-Man? What, like, you've got the championship series and all that shit, which is really fun, but that's like, you don't know what the original Pac-Man was.
No, I feel like kids nowadays still know, because you still have some of like those big Pac-Man machines in arcades, and
the
there's
apps.
always the T-shirts and the spin-offs of that. Like there was
I
that
hope so.
movie,
Seeing
that horrible
movies and
movie
stuff.
that I didn't watch, where
With
like,
Peter
giant
Dinklage?
Oh, God.
the
That
giant
Peter Dinklage
came from the
Pac-Man
moon.
is like eating the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah.
That movie was god-awful.
With
I
Adam
didn't watch
Sandler.
it. I just saw the previews and it looked god awful.
I don't know how I watched it or why I watched it, but it was free, I assure you. and I wanted my money back. It was so bad.
But
Just Peter
speaking
Dinklage
of, like,
with a mullet.
Peter
speaking of,
Dinklage
like,
with a mullet.
old
Yep.
arcade games, like Dragon Lair. Holy shit,
Oh,
man!
yeah.
When I saw that in the previews for Stranger Things 2, I was like, oh, "It's that
Yeah.
game! That
That's-
freaking game!"
The Stranger
Oh my
Thing. I like the
Dragon's Lair was...
Stranger Things series. They really stay true to the
When it was like to be a kid in the 80s.
Yeah, they stay true to that exactly with the video games, the board games, even
The D&D.
the stuff that happens with the friends and all that stuff with the bullies and all that crap. They don't hold any punches. That's the way it used to be back then. That's
It's
pretty
like,
hardcore.
I really like Stranger Things, but I also hate it out of pure envy because they stole so much of Silent Hill, and I always wanted to make something stealing Silent Hill,
But it's,
and they stole it before me.
it's not so much stealing as they directly said that they got a lot of inspiration from Silent Hill. And that's
and it
cool.
pisses
I
me
like
off.
that.
Because I'm inspired by Silent Hill, and I wanted to make something of Silent Hill, but they stole my thunder. I didn't have enough time. Take me
You know what?
back.
You know how you can get them back? We can rip them
Rip off
and make
Stranger
it
Things.
noisy things.
Make a porno, Stranger Flings.
Oh god, I'm sure that already exists.
It probably does.
Just like Ass Effect.
The upside down world is just a position. Oh god. Yeah, that's probably something really bad. Considering all the kids, all the people in that show are kids. I
Yeah.
don't even want to go down that route. Oh god. But yeah, I really like Stranger Things, and it's cool that it has so much Silent Hill. Silent Hill I hold very near and dear to my heart, even with shitty versions of it, like Homecoming, and that was Homecoming, right? That's what the PS3 one was called.
I
think so.
want to say yes.
I only played the original.
That's good. But you played the trilogy. You played
Yeah,
3?
there's 3 of them.
No, there was 4.
I was the 4th one in a room.
Yeah, it was called The Room.
Yeah, okay.
Was
I
it in
did
a
play
room?
That one,
It was
but
called The
That's how
Room.
much I remember about it, that I couldn't even remember the name of it.
Silent Hill 4, The Room.
The Room. Yeah,
You're
I played
tearing
that
me
one.
apart,
It
Lisa.
was- eh. But the original, 3 were so good.
In fact, Silent Hill 4, The Room, I didn't even play it. Joel came over and binge played it in one night in my room.
I
And
think
just
I was there
watched
for
him
that.
play it.
I think
Yeah,
I was there
I think
for
you
that.
were there. It was
Yeah.
like, he left around 7 in the morning when he finally beat it, and I was like, well, okay, great. Thanks.
To me, there just hasn't been another game that has the same type of atmosphere that really sucks you in. And, I don't know.
Silent Hill 2 is perfection, in my opinion. Silent Hill 2, even though it starts off so slow, God, does it nail it. Just like, nobody ever thought about making a horror world like that based off of your own psychosis. And, oh man, that was like pulling the best parts of cinema and putting it into a game. And having like allegories and stuff within... Oh man! Oh god! Oh,
He's gonna have a moment to
I'm
himself.
And for me, the cherry on top was I love games that have puzzles and make you think and make you solve. That style of gaming ended with the original Resident Evils and Silent Hills. After that,
Yeah.
it just kind of simplified everything. But I love games that are like that.
It's true. I was telling Danny recently, and he was like, "What? You're playing that again?" I was playing Resident Evil, the original, because it came out free on PS Plus or something. And I was like, let me go back, because I never played the remake that they did. And I had forgotten. I was playing through it, and it does such a masterful job of leading you on the path of what you need to do, with the hints and the clues of what you need to do, where you don't need to find a guide to be like, what the hell do I do next? Like a lot of hard games try to do. Like, oh, this game's so hard, because you don't know what the fuck to do. They never tell you what to do, and they never lead you on the right path of what to do. But Resident Evil, sprinkled it along the way so you knew what to do without holding your hand the whole way through. And it was just, oh man, such a good game. Such a good game.
I love you would find a random gem in the dining room or something, and then you're like, what the fuck is this for? I don't know.
Yeah.
And 3 rooms later, you're like, oh my god, here! I put it here.
Or you pick up a gem and then you hold it in your inventory for 4 hours, and then you find an herb and you're like, I need to heal. I can't pick up the fucking herb.
Then you have to
Let me run back
backtrack
across
all the
the
way.
map.
Yeah, you have to
Inventory
backtrack all the way to the
management
beginning
was
of the game,
definitely a thing
basically.
in that game.
And where's the closest safe room? It's on the other side of the map. Fuck! And
Yeah.
then running back. Oh shit, it's one of the Crimson Heads. And then it goes and it
Or
kills
you
you.
run out
and-
of those little ink tapes or whatever to
Oh, yeah,
save
and
on
you
the
can't
To
typewriter.
save. Yeah.
You have to you're like, do I really need to save right now? I don't know. I'm running out of these.
and then it's like, what's
Kids
cool
these
about
days
those
will
games?
never know.
Yeah, they'll never know
Jeez.
What do you
about
mean
that
you
kind of
can't
cool
save
stuff.
whenever? What do you mean it doesn't auto save? What do you mean?
It's like autosave. What do you mean? You didn't have a checkpoint before the boss? You have to
Yeah,
reload
exactly.
That whole section? I'm like, no. I forgot to save 4 hours ago, so I have to redo that whole 4-hour
Yes,
section.
Oh my god.
Because
You know what you do?
RPGs were like that. You could forget to save, and then you would just get hit, just blown out of nowhere. Oh, it's a boss. And you're like, I wasn't expecting a boss. And you just played 2 or 3 hours straight without saving, and then you're like, fuck, I'm not prepared for this boss. I'm totally underleveled. And then you got to redo the whole shit again. Going through all of those prompts, reading all those fucking story. Oh yeah, you had to read. People didn't voice act shit for you.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Reading was a thing.
Reading in video games.
And that's why I hate reading.
It's like what? Like what? Subtitles? No. You actually have to read text
Dialogue
on the screen
boxes.
Yeah.
to know the story, and it's
And
like,
if you're lucky, the English made sense.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
All your base will belong to
yes!
us.
Ha ha ha, gentlemen. All your base are belong to us.
Oh, that's so
Oh
great.
my god, you guys are reminding me of things I completely forgot about. That's so true.
Oh, that was
We
great.
should do a series on old gaming stereotypes or old gaming things that you just
Old
never
English.
Don't remember. Yeah.
All the English.
I'm going to speak this podcast in Old English. You should do that at the Renaissance Festival. Speak Old
God,
English.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe you should sing in Old English the
Yeah.
opening of this.
We'll just take quotes from old games that have bad English. Oh, those were good times. Oh, I miss those games.
Yeah.
And it was an accomplishment to even beat any of those games. Like, I watched a speed runner the other day playing Battletoads. And I think I
Holy
mentioned
crap.
this in one of the last podcasts.
I'm so
that
jealous.
he destroyed Battletoads in like an hour, or less than an hour. It's like minutes.
You know how
I'm
many
like,
hours
he's
I
not
put in
human.
that in the arcades?
Clearly, he's not human. He needs
Yeah.
to be taken down.
And
I'm
Bird
like-
Bowl, the amount of hours I used to put into that game in Bird Bowl.
In that back dark left corner.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
it
could
was
never
always
get
me because
past
nobody
the
ever
frickin'
wanted to
jet
play that
ski
game.
wall section. Are you kidding me?
No, nobody
Oh,
ever could.
jeez. And
Especially
when
on the Game Boy.
and I was just gonna say, and it was worse than the Game Boy because I was playing that crap religiously. I finally beat it, but it took me like 1.5 days where I woke up on a Saturday and I did not stop until like Sunday.
And then if your batteries are going out, then the screen starts to dim, and you're like,
Oh,
I can't
and
see
you're
the
still
wall.
like
Oh, no, no,
straining
no.
your eyes.
I was prepared for that crap. I had the little overhead thing with the little lights and everything with a magnifying glass. So
See,
the
that's
magnifying
another
glass.
thing that kids will never understand.
Exactly.
Kids will never understand.
Yes, that's the title of it. Things kids these days will never understand.
Yeah. I saw a video on Facebook the other day of someone who gave their kid a Game Boy, and the little girl was trying to touch screen it. She wasn't trying to use the buttons. She was like, why isn't this working?
It's like, no, scrub. You got to use the buttons, lol. Get good.
Lols.
Oh man.
Well, it's getting like that because the other day for my birthday when we went go-karting, there were adults going up to a kiosk where you had to input your information, and they were all
Yeah.
tapping the monitor, and there's a keyboard right in front of them, and a mouse. There's a keyboard and a mouse in front of the monitor, and they're like, "Duh."
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, guys, the keyboard right there, use it.
And the funny thing is, there were people that were older than us. Like they look
Yeah.
older than us, and
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
it's
dude,
happening.
seriously?
It's
Well,
the
that's-
singularity.
We've been conditioned that way based on all of the advances in technology and what is out there right now. So
Steve Jobs
Gosh.
has done it to us.
Respect the old school. That's what I say. Respect the old school.
Oh, buttons. You can't replace buttons, man.
Remember cassettes? Hitting record at just the right moment when you hear your favorite song in the radio.
and then getting pissed when the DJ would talk over the song and you're like, shut the no one wants to hear you right now.
Yes. Yes.
Mixtapes.
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 Yep.
Creating mixtapes.
Oh man.
That
Yeah,
reminds me of a couple
What was
days
it?
ago.
Uh-huh.
A couple days ago, I was watching on YouTube a video of Penn and Teller from 1985 or something like that, and they did like a little trick there where they're like, "Okay, all you're gonna need for this trick to impress your friends is a video cassette and your video cassette recorder." And I'm like, they weren't even saying VCR back then. Yes. He was actually saying out all three words.
He
That's how
was
old
saying
that
the
shit
full
is.
freaking name of the device.
A video cassette recorder. I was like, damn. I'm sure if these guys watch this, they'd be like, oh man, this is rough.
Yeah, that crap was hardcore back then, man.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable. Just like
That's
the
our
things that
generation.
we've been privy to, like the things that we've witnessed in our
Yep.
aging process.
But I feel like we became like mini engineers. Like you knew exactly how to use a Q-tip or how to blow inside the cartridge or do all these different
Yeah.
things to make your game work or
Yep.
and just I don't know.
Yeah, they'll never know about that. You had to put a cartridge to play the game. I don't get it. Like, how
And
does
make
that
sure you
work?
clean the pins on that sucker.
Yep.
It's like nowadays where people's iPhones don't charge. The first thing they tell you to do is stick a needle into it and pull out lint because it's probably dirty, and that's what's
Yeah.
blocking the charge port.
Yeah.
And that's something that we were accustomed to doing with an NES. Like,
Yep.
it was automatic. Your cartridge isn't working. What do? You blow in that shit, or you start Q-tipping it and you put it back in there.
Yep.
Or what do you do is like you stick it in and you wedge something to halfway down
So
it,
it can
not
be
push it
forced
all the way
down?
down.
Yep. Yep.
You know what game was always freaking glitchy and you kept having to restart was Legend of Zelda. My god.
Oh,
the
jeez.
amount of weird colored pixelation on that opening screen. You're like, can I play this way? No, I can't. I gotta take this out. And pray that when I put it back in, it works.
Speedrunners look for that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous the things that speedrunners do with those glitch screens. It's crazy. How they figure that shit out, I have no idea, but it always
They
amazes
have
me.
they have the levels memorized.
But they move
They have
forward
the
3
code
steps. They move
memorized.
back 2 steps. They move forward 3 steps. They pick up an item. Then they run in a circle, and they're rewriting memory through those movements. And then suddenly they fall through the world and they're at the end of the map. And it's like, what?
What?
How did you figure that shit out? Watch a speedrun of Super Mario World and you'll see what they do with Yoshi picking up items and how it automatically teleports them to the end of the game. It's like, what? How did you figure that shit out? And it's like, this has to be pixel perfect.
Everything is a mystery until like one person figures it out. Like in the Mario world where you fly above at the top and then you drop down and then there's the recorder and then it could take you to a different world. Like that kind of shit. Like who the fuck was the first person to figure that out? Like who was randomly flying and saw that the level ends here, but they just kept going anyway?
Yeah, I miss that kind of stuff. Like that's what sucks about the internet, that you figure out all this stuff right away, and that like the first Diablo. When the first Diablo came out, it was like, oh my god, you actually got to the end? You beat Diablo? And that was like such an accomplishment, and people didn't even believe that there was an end to that game. But nowadays, none of that's not the case anymore. Like you said, it's all so easy now. Oh, it sucks. Now you're making me wish for older times.
Aww. I've turned us all into crotchety old men.
Yeah.
Yay,
Get off my lawn.
Kids these days will never understand.
I have to think about that though. Like, how do I teach him of the olden days of gaming?
Oh, don't worry. Pretty soon he'll be teaching you.
That's true. I was
Kids
thinking
these days, I don't know how, but they pick up gaming so fast.
Yeah.
Like technology, they just grow up with it, and it's such a part of their everyday life that, you know.
And I guess the cash grab from all these companies to try to keep making money and putting out apps all the time has these kids always finding them. So it's like they always keep finding these older games. I'm planning to give my son my PSP, since I never used my PSP and I have a bunch of old stuff loaded on it. That could be a good way to get him to play with something that has old games and start to learn about them. And so
I'll tell you what, kids these days are cannot watch anything that's 2D anymore. They're so used to like the 3D animation cartoons that they've been coming out with. Like my nephew cannot watch a Disney movie. He's bored. If it doesn't pop out at him, doesn't have bright colors and like high-pitched talking, like he just can't. He has no interest.
Yeah,
which is a shame because all the classics, everything is 2D, and you know it just doesn't hold their interest.
It's like it's slowly been going that way because like when I was a kid, it was like Voltron, Ghostbusters, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles. It was all like G.I. Joe. It was all very Scooby-Doo. You had like these story-oriented Flintstones, Jetsons, the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Yep. It was all very focused stuff. But then, as I got older, then what came out? Ren and Stimpy. Shit got a little bit more ADD.
Yep.
Then you go a little bit older, and you have SpongeBob. Even more ADD. And it's
I hated SpongeBob.
Things got more and more ADD until
and they make up more and more words. Like, what are you teaching these kids? Those aren't real words. I can't even say it.
You can't even word.
I can't even word.
Stimpy, you idiot! Ooh, what's wrong, Ren?
Yeah, things just got way out of hand, and that I feel like with Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead, stuff just started going off the rails.
Yep.
And
I still enjoyed those cartoons. But
of course, but you were also a little bit older. Like, you were in the demographic for it. Like, kids that started watching it, I really feel like kids that grew up on SpongeBob were treated to some, like, disastrous stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not the quality that our generation grew up with.
Nope.
Because, like, Ninja Turtles just made a comeback, thank God. Because we need some good Turtles action in this world. But
not just that, but a lot of those cartoons taught you lessons and morals and shit, and you don't get that anymore. You really don't.
Nope.
You don't. It's like
it taught you, like, Ninja Turtles themselves, leadership, working through your problems, compassion, like, all of that stuff is very prominent in those episodes, and you just don't get that.
G.I. Joe, giving them a stick, not giving them a stick.
Oh.
Don't look at me when I'm talking to you.
But I hate to say, but like Captain Planet, like
that's
he's our hero.
He's a hero.
Take pollution down to zero.
Exactly.
I think he might be wherever Elvis is. That's where Captain Planet is, because our ecosystem is not doing great.
It's true. I mean, there's so many shows back then that were just trying to teach you something, and not like slap you in the face with it. It was kind of like you watched a story and then it had a good morality to it. But now you like the whole story does SpongeBob tell you about Krabby Patties and his dealings with the starfish.
Oh, stupid.
What the hell's the starfish's name?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I hate
Patrick.
that show.
Patrick the starfish. And it's like, why? I feel like we might be turning a corner again with some of the 3D stuff because some of the 3D stuff is going back to like story-oriented things.
The Magic School Bus. Netflix has a sequel to Hop on the Magic School Bus. With,
Why are you watching that?
I vaguely remember.
Are you
this.
kidding? I loved that original cartoon when I was younger. And I watched like 2 episodes of this new reboot, and it's not the same.
Of course not,
In
because
fact,
you're older now.
Well, no, it's not the same because I don't remember this in the original. It might have happened, but like this teacher is putting these children in really god awful
Precarious.
situations where they could die. Like there's no safety net. Like these kids could
Yeah.
freaking die at any moment. But she's trying to teach them a lesson. I'm like, Darwinism maybe? Because
Oh my god.
Have you guys seen the DuckTales reboot?
no,
Not
I
yet.
haven't.
Did that come out already?
It did. It started. In fact, I think the last episode is airing soon. I think it's this weekend.
Does it
holy
have
crap.
the song? If it does not have the song, I
It
won't watch
has. It has
a remix.
It's a song, but obviously it's different. It's for the times, but it's the same song.
What is it like?
Dun, 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 dun.
But what do you mean for the
awesome.
times? Is it like?
No.
That's 2000s. I don't know what you're talking
they
That's
kept
true.
they kept the same song, but it's different. It sounds different, but it's the same song. I think it's a little bit more fast paced now.
They just sped it up.
Well,
Well,
no.
For the ADD
It's-
kids, clearly we're on the
it's-
same track here.
It's true.
It's different, and I like the difference. I like the differences because I think about how it used to be in the past and how it is now.
Do they rewrite history?
Yes. Well, no.
DuckTales. Oh,
But yeah,
I
I
want
like
to check that out.
I like the new season. I like where they're going with it.
As a kid, I loved
just-
DuckTales.
They brought back my favorite. They didn't bring him back, but they're including my favorite character, which I don't remember them ever having in the original one. Donald
The
Duck.
pilot. Oh,
Oh
The
my
pilot? Launchpad? No. Well, he's in there again, but no.
And Darkwing
Launchpad
Duck?
was everywhere. Launchpad was in DuckTales. He was in Darkwing Duck. He was in Tailspin.
oh yeah, Tailspin. I forgot about that. No,
Jeez.
I really liked all those shows back then, and like Rescue Rangers and
Yeah.
yeah,
Rescue
all of those.
Rangers.
There were a lot
I
of
have
good
both
shows.
of those movies on VHS. I have all of my old Disney movies on VHS still. I don't
And it's
even
like
have a
as a kid.
VCR anymore, but I still have.
Yeah.
As a kid, you never really questioned the fact that they're Chip and Dale.
Yeah.
Chippendales.
Chip and
Yeah,
Dale.
there's a lot of adult
Rescue
jokes
Rangers.
that they hide in there.
It's like, really?
Yep. It's Chip and Dale.
I'm a young mind that's still forming, and you're throwing that in my face.
It's
like,
like
come
you know
on.
what it means at that time.
That was for the ladies. But it's cool. Like they just brought back Voltron 2 on Netflix, so
Nice.
it's like there's a lot of stuff coming back that I'm happy to see, and I was planning to try to find as many as I can and like download for my son Thundercats and He-Man, all the original stuff, so he
Do
can
that.
watch what I watched growing up, and he
If-
could
if
be as
he's-
angry as I am now.
If you still have your old systems, make those his first video games
You're
consoles.
basically
and
gonna make him
whatnot.
grow up to be a hipster before he even knows how to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe. He's going to be like, kids these days, they don't know anything. You're 10. Well, I was telling Ivy that I was going to give him my PSP that has a bunch of, like, it's got the NES emulator on it and all that kind of stuff. So he can get a feel of the original Mario Brothers, because Lord knows I'm not going to spend $300 on an aftermarket NES classic.
Oh,
They can go
geez.
screw themselves.
Yeah. When you can just give them yours or whatever.
I
Assuming
don't
you
have
still
my
have
old
it.
NES.
You don't have it?
Where the hell am I going to...
Are you kidding me?
My old
It's a
NES
cult
was...
classic. It's a freaking. It's an antique.
It wasn't working in 1989. Why would it be working now?
That's what happened to my
'Cause you
Sega. Like one of the wires got loose, and my dad kept trying to like solder it back on, and then it just completely stopped working.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
so it's
sucks.
like-
That pains me.
Yeah, I've got a Dreamcast, the PS3 I still have, but everything else like I've gotten rid of. I have Sega games. I don't have my Genesis. I don't know where that is, but I have a bunch of Sega games.
I still have my NES. I still have my SNES. I still have my PlayStation, my PS2, my Dreamcast. I still have that one.
There you go. You can lend me your NES, and I can plug it in and it not work.
I gotta find it. Yeah, that's another thing. It probably doesn't work anymore, but...
And then we would have to find...
He's learning problem-solving skills, okay?
We need
This
to
is
find
going to make your child more independent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And be like, here, figure out how to plug this into a TV. It doesn't have HDMI.
Oh my god, and all those freaking cables in the back.
Yep, the RCA cables. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's
It'll
right.
teach him color matching.
You had you
It
had
was an
red,
RCA back then.
Yeah, it was RCA. You had red, white, and red, white, and yellow. And then
No, but before that, it was the little coaxial cable.
yeah,
Remember
the
that?
coaxials. Yeah. We just have to screw it in and then break
Yeah, you
your
had to
hand.
screw it in, and then you had another one behind it so you could screw in your TV.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
old
the
days.
little RF unit.
Yeah, the RF unit.
One for your TV, one for the console.
The glory
crap.
days.
And then when we got older, they added like three extra
I
colors.
need to get my signal.
Yeah, with the antenna. And then as time progressed, they added like 3 extra colors to the back, and you were like, "What the heck are these for? I'm never gonna use these."
I think we've lost everybody listening who's not 30
Yeah.
and older.
Yep.
Hey, I'm 29. I'm
Well, you're close
relating.
enough. Come on.
Jeez.
When's your
Don't
birthday?
add any more age to me. I'm not looking forward to my 30th
please.
When's your birthday?
January.
Ah, come on. You're right there.
I know. Don't add any more age to me.
Oh please, you're a baby.
You're still a youngin'. I'm already thinking that by the time my kid's 15, I'm going to be like 50. And I'm like, shit. I'm going to be one of those geezer parents telling kids to get off his lawn.
You're already doing that now.
You're already doing that
I
now.
know. I'm already sitting on my porch. And I'm going to have to do that now for Halloween. If he's born for Halloween, I'm going to tell kids, get off my lawn.
No candy here.
No candy here, kid.
And then you get TP'd,
Yeah. I
assuming
probably
assuming that's still a thing.
Oh, Lord knows. Nowadays, kids are probably shooting paintballs at people's houses.
Holy crap.
But yeah, we were going to talk about American Horror Story, but now we're like an hour in, and we.
Hey, I gave you a segue. You completely ignored it, so.
I missed it. No, actually, I didn't miss it. I heard you. But weren't we talking about it? What happened? Something happened. I'm
Oh, so
about
speaking
like
of-
the shock factor and gore value of the games and how.
Yeah,
that,
and then we
like,
were talking about. Yeah, because then I mentioned like disemboweling in it, and then I think Danny said something, and then we kept on going.
Yep.
We kept rolling with it.
You did not take the segue. I was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
that was my shot.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you say something about Mortal Kombat, and that's what ended up on that track? Damn you and Mortal Kombat. Undertake us.
Me, yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, that's right. I said I couldn't believe my parents let me play Mortal Kombat when it first came out, like in '92. I remember seeing that in Hot Wheels. I was like, holy crap, this is amazing! And it was right next to Street Fighter. It was right next to Street Fighter, and everyone was huddled around the freaking Mortal Kombat 2.
I think we should
Mortal Kombat
call
1.
this
Wow.
the Hardcore Casuals Nostalgia Podcast. Because every time we do this, we end up just talking about stuff from years ago, like Warcraft and like all the good old days. We totally disregard everything that we're supposed to be talking about now.
Oh, speaking of old stuff, I finally started watching... I finally started watching 13 Ways.
Oh, the suicide one?
Yeah.
No,
13 Reasons.
Why.
13 Reasons, there we go. Is it?
Yeah.
I think about the
13
album.
Ways to Kill Yourself.
Well, no, there's a.
I was like,
a-
that's... Whoa.
no. There's an
that
album
just took a
called.
turn.
There's sorry, this podcast just went dark real quick. No, there's an album like back in the high school days that was called 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage by Cold. And every time I see that title, I remember that album. So that's why I was like 13 Ways. I was like, oh no, 13 Reasons.
Were
13
they the
Reasons.
people with the aliens? Who were the ones that had the aliens in
What?
the music videos?
What are you talking about? The aliens in the music videos?
Yeah, the ones that were from Men in Black 2.
The ones
Which
that were
ones?
from Men in
There's so
Black.
many
What are you
aliens
talking-
in-
Will Smith's video? I don't get it.
The-
You're talking
no,
about the
the
music that I
things-
used to listen to?
The music video, that it was like these guys, they were all in white and they were bald, and then they would walk like on their hands and their toes, and then they would be rocking their head back and forth as they walked.
Tool Schism. Yes,
Tools. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Tools.
the video to Schism. Yes, yes. That's
that's what it was.
classic. Classic.
Yeah, because the aliens were in Men in Black 2. They put those in there as Jay's walking through, or was that his name? Jay. Was
J,
that-
yeah. J and K.
Yeah, Kay was this guy. The old
Kay
guy.
was
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones, and then Will Smith was Jay.
Good
Yeah, they
old
saw
Will
the-
fucking Smith.
They saw that the pieces fit.
So then, yeah, what are you thinking about 13 Reasons?
13 Reasons, yeah, because they use the Walkman on there and everything, and watching him, like when he got into Tony's car and he saw, oh man, you still have the old stuff, and it was like the cassette player that started taking me back till I was like, holy crap, cassette players! I remember doing mixed tapes back then.
How many episodes of that have you seen?
I'm on tape 9, I think, or episode 9.
Okay, so you got 4 more. Ivy, did you watch
Yeah.
that?
I saw the first episode.
What? Okay.
As I heard
Your
everyone was
homework
like,
is
"Oh my god, this thing is so amazing!" So I started watching it, and then I don't know what happened. I just
okay.
stopped
You've got
watching.
homework. Your homework is to finish watching that show, for starters, and then before you watch Stranger Things, you've got to play Final Fantasy Tactics.
No, you are not doing this.
Look,
to me.
look, yes, that's perfect. That's Friday's stream. That's what you're gonna be doing.
No, I don't even have the game.
Friday
So many
stream.
codes on-
David, lend it to her.
No, we're gonna have a stream of you trying to find a copy of Final Fantasy Tactics.
We're gonna
That's exactly
IRL
like
it.
13 reasons.
We're
Why are
gonna
you
IRL
punishing
it.
me? I didn't make you commit suicide. Come on.
You can actually get it on your phone. Final Fantasy Tactics is available on an iPhone.
There you go. And just stream it from there.
Oh god, that game is so good. But you have to watch 13 Reasons. It's eye-opening. Some people don't really like it because they say it encourages kids to do that kind of behavior, but I feel like it does
I
show
feel like
you
it'll
what,
walk a fine line. It's kind
Yeah.
of like
I-
glorifying her suicide in a way, but I've only
It
seen
does.
the first episode.
But if you don't look at it from that perspective and you look at it from the perspective of this is the kind of shit kids are going through in this day and age of digital life at school, digital bullying is way worse than, or cyberbullying, if I'm going to be up to times politically.
Technically correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's totally different from you go to school and you get in a fight with someone, you punch them, and then it's like, well, whatever, you go home and everything's fine.
Well, the kids talk about it for a couple days and they forget.
Yeah, but now it's like that shit stays on a message board and photos cycle throughout the whole school and everybody knows everything and it lasts forever and it follows you home. There's no safe place.
There
Because- Go ahead.
there was an incident like that back in my day in my school. And I kind of wish Adrian was here because he knows what I'm talking about. Where this one kid did put something on a message board and he was basically talking crap about everyone. And it was this whole big deal that lasted for like a month because it was like, should we expel him? Or should they expel him? Should he not get expelled? Does it even count? Because this is something that happened, like he did this at home. Then he's like, oh no, my account got hacked. What do you mean hacked? You're a freaking 10-year-old, well, not 10, we were junior high, I think. You're freaking 13, 14 years old, and you're going to be saying that your thing got hacked by who? And it's like, man, this is back when Windows 95 was the thing.
That was the beginning. That was
the
beginning of stuff.
of cyberbullying, and this guy had like, man, it was bad. It was bad, and nobody knew what the hell to do with it because it was the first time that this has ever happened. Period.
It's just now it gets so much worse because a
and
lot
now
of
it's
kids these days, well, a lot of kids in those days, like our day, if they weren't popular in school, they would come home and that would be their escape. They can go on the internet, they could play video games, they could do whatever to just get away from that feeling of oppression that they had in a daily life. Now that's not the case. There's no safe place.
Yeah,
they can come home to an abusive family. Then they can go to school to an abusive environment. They can go online and still be abused. There's nowhere to turn. And that's why kids feel like they have no course of action but to take their own life, which sucks. I don't think other kids realize what they're doing to others. And it's always been that
anonymity
way.
of being on the internet.
Yeah, and it goes such a long way, and it pains me as a person that you have to even think that way and deal with that, because why can't we just all be excellent to one another?
You did not just say that.
Be excellent.
Let's just be excellent with everyone, man.
you got
Party on.
That's the
Party on,
first thing I'm
dudes.
going to do. I'm
Party
going to show
on, my dudes.
my son is going to watch Bill
Bill and
and Ted
Ted's
with me
Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
and Bogus Journey.
Journey.
Wasn't there a third one?
I don't
No,
think so. I think it's
they
just-
want to come out with a third
Oh,
one.
that's
Now
true.
that
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
adults,
Yeah.
They just need a good actual script.
The
Alex
only thing
Winter
that-
was saying that Keanu Reeves was totally okay with doing it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just waiting for a good script. So
Yeah.
get on that. Make it Silent Hill or something.
What?
Yeah.
The only thing I
Instead
didn't
of
like
Silent Hill,
about the sequel was that they changed the name of their band from what was
Wild
it? The
Stallions.
Huh?
Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallions.
Well, from Wild Stallions to something else.
I don't. No, I think
It,
it's
no,
still Wild
no, no,
Stallions.
no, no. It was still Stallions, but it was Wild Stallions or something else Stallions, White Stallions. I don't remember. They changed the name slightly to where I was like, wait, what? Did I just hear that right? Am I going nuts?
You should
And
watch it
turns out-
again because I don't think that happened.
And they did. It was a complete name change on their band in the
I
sequel.
call fallacies.
The fallacies. Try it. There you go. She's gonna
Look.
check it out.
Yeah, she's googling it right now.
She's gonna fact check it. Yeah, because I remember.
Sad, very sad.
Jeez, but by I think I can't say recently because I think it was like last year, or the year before. I rewatched both of them just for whatever. Oh, after I heard the news about them trying to revive the third one, and I saw them back to back, and I was like, "Wait, what did he just say? Did he just call it this Stallions?" And I was like, "What? Wasn't it Wild Stallions?"
I'm pretty sure it was Wild Stallions in both.
I
'cause
mean,
remember.
I'm looking at Wikipedia. It's
Yeah, I
spelled WYLD, and then Stallions,
Stallions.
STALLYNS.
Yeah. Because I remember the
Jeez.
scene when the robots come into the room to with the girls and stuff, and they're there with their guitars, and there's a banner on the wall, and it says Wild Stallions. I remember that very well, because I watched Bogus Journey, I think, more than Excellent Adventure, because I really liked the part where they fight death.
Yes, that was
Oh my
awesome.
god, and they beat him in every game.
Yeah. And he's like, best 2 out of 4. Best 3 out of 7. Best 5 out of 9. He keeps on going up and up and up and up.
That movie was gold.
I loved that movie.
Yeah,
then
everywhere
it-
I see is the name is the same for Bogus
It gets
Journey.
really stupid at the end, but
Then I guess I must have been going insane then.
Station!
yeah, that part was like, oh god. So I guess maybe next time we can talk about American Horror Story.
Yeah, Roanoke.
And there you go. It's on Netflix, Ivy, so you can catch up on Roanoke. Watch through that, and then
How much freaking homework are you giving me?
you've
You have your work cut
okay,
out for
so
you.
you've got Roanoke, you've got Final Fantasy Tactics, and what was the other one?
I'm not watching any of that. I'm watching Stranger Things too. Okay.
And this is all happening on Friday, by the way, right? You're
Yeah.
IRLing this.
Because look, it's Wednesday.
Just put the camera
right
behind
now.
you facing the thing, and put another one in front of you so you can get reactions.
It's Wednesday, 10 p.m. right now. That means you have at least
Holy
48
crap, it
hours to watch like 13 hours worth of stuff. So you're good.
Oh crap!
Final Fantasy Tactics might be tough because that's a longer game.
Yeah.
That's a good 100
And the
hours.
fact that I don't actually have it kind
It's
of
on your
puts a
phone.
damper in the problem.
$9.99.
Holy crap!
That's the first part of the battle.
Yeah,
Find the game before you can beat the game.
exactly.
Kids these days will never understand.
Yeah,
it'll
kids
be
will never understand.
it'll be a thing. The title of the stream will be the quest to find Final Fantasy
It's like-
Tactics.
Boy, did you know when I was a kid and I wanted to play a game, I had to
Jeez.
go to the store. And if
You
they
had to
didn't have it
walk
at the
to the-
store,
no, you
I
had to
couldn't play the game.
You had to ask your mom to drive you to the store to then buy the game. No, to see if they have the game, then
Yeah.
buy the game, then come back and.
Then you had to call other stores who didn't have the game.
Oh,
then you had to
geez,
call
yes.
other stores who said that they were sold
Pre-ordering.
out. Yeah.
No one pre-orders anymore. That's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
You
Remember?
just download everything digitally.
No. Now it's pre-downloading.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, there's that.
Remember when there was no when you typed in a phone number on your landline, when you didn't have to type in the area code first.
Yes, I do remember that. My God, you're making me feel very old.
Yep.
Only
Those are
7
good times.
numbers. It was so much
Yeah.
easier to remember.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Hardcore Casuals Podcast. We're 3 childhood friends whose motto is just good enough. We're hardcore about a variety of topics, but too casual to be experts at any of them. Be sure to join us next time on this journey of mediocrity. I'm David.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Ivy.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Those are the days.
Yeah, we're going full speed in reverse.
This was a very depressing episode. My apologies.
Yes.
I think we're all in
thanks for
tears now.
joining us. This has
Hey,
been the
no,
Hardcore
where's the
Casuals
fake laugh?
podcast.
All right, this is not an outro without a fake laugh.
But excuse me, senor. I don't.
I believe you have my lightsaber.
I believe you hit my lightsaber. Yeah, I believe you hit my lightsaber. I set this galaxy on fire.
Hey. Ha ha ha. Thanks for.
We
joining
went so
us.
far back in time.
This has been the Hardcore Casuals podcast. We're three childhood friends. We're too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore. I'm Adrian.
I mean, I was like, you said there's 3 childhood friends, but there's only 2 of you there.
I don't even remember what the fuck my outro is.
I heard you touching yourself in the background while you were doing that.